You're listening to the Pine Room Podcast, the home of sports, gambling, entertainment, and whatever the hell else has gone on this week. So pull up a seat by the fire, crack open a cold one, and make sure to get your bets in. Welcome to the Pine Room. All right, hello everyone, and welcome into the Pine Room Podcast, episode 80. I think it's 87.
Yeah, I think 87.
87.
I love
That's where we're gonna go.
Like
Sidney Crosby episode.
What happens when we get up to like 200?
Oh, we're screwed. Just keep going. 100% screwed.
It's over. No, but we're here. If you can hear this, it's not going to sound like we're in the studio. It's still going to sound good, but we are obviously not back home. We are here back again at Belmont Brewerks. Rick was nice enough to let us come back and obviously hang out in the beautifully decorated outdoor covering that he's got here at Belmont Brewerks. Heather, his wife, did all the decorating. She did fantastic. It feels kind of like my mom always watches those Hallmark movies that are
Yes.
Here's the deal. The vibe in here is unreal.
Hallmark.
Truly, the vibe.
It's got a definite hallmark. A guy picks up a
Very
girl.
Hallmarky.
Yeah.
And
Just
Vic's
perfect.
already got me drunk.
Hold on. Here's the deal.
Already
There's got to
hammered.
be a good-looking guy and a girl involved somewhere.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Has there
Absolutely.
ever been an ugly person in a Hallmark
No,
movie?
not even close.
No, because they can't really act, so they got to be good looking.
That's like,
I mean,
So that's the
would you say that those are like the Academy Awards? I mean, it wasn't like us trying to shoot that commercial
Here's
yesterday.
the deal. It's like
I
Days
mean,
of
like,
Our
we
Lives.
were real actors.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, Chubb, you want to hit on the commercial we did
Yeah,
yesterday?
yeah.
Well, I guess
We-
it really...
Chubb was a star. He did amazing.
yeah, my
he was
first
amazing.
directing and acting role, it didn't
You're like
go
Clint
well.
Well,
Eastwood.
not really your first acting role. We've done a lot before.
Well,
Maybe
that
the
was
first
like,
major?
His
like
fu-
that's
his
where
the
I,
Star.
first full length.
Yeah, his first
but I
film.
actually had to remember a line, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
That's
Chubb.
not- That's not true.
Well,
You
I
did
did
it. You did do it.
I
You
did do it after about how many tries?
So-
It doesn't
Well-
matter how many tries, as long as you got the one that
cares?
matters.
Well, Honestly, very solid.
it was funny because we were in our role, Jeff and I and my dad and Derek were in the meeting room, and every time we were sitting down, we would hear you come in. The Pine Room Studios LLC is a multimedia production company in Wheeling, West Virginia, and then fuck, and then about after the 9th time, you kept going. You said,
Can't do it.
I can't do it. I can't do it. And Jeff goes, hold the fuck on. And he goes out.
I
He
start
said,
barreling through.
and I think it was Soup said, oh shit, here he comes. And he goes, Jeff, you can do it. You motherfucker.
Felt like all of a sudden
Well,
Rocky
And then
Balboa.
you
You
came
got it
in,
done.
and
You got it
then
done.
you did get it after
did
Jeff.
get it.
I guarantee you, even George Clooney and Julia Roberts, it takes them like 55 takes. So I bet you beat them out.
I agree with that.
Well-
Here's the deal. You were between your head. Between your ears, 100%.
So I was so focused on making sure everything went like that. That I explained everything. That by the time we got to the point where we actually had to film it, I was like, my brain had already just turned to mush. So
You did good.
Well, yeah,
It's not an easy thing to do. Like I said, I can sympathize. Reading off cue cards is hard. You're so much better off kind of either memorizing or just being natural. It's really tough to read.
Do you think a lot of the lines in movies, they're probably scripted out, but do you think some actors take sort of a creative
I would say some of your
That's
best
the good
ones.
ones. That's
That's
the
the
good
ones
ones.
that you hear about. Like that was all ad lib.
Because-
Like Jim Carrey did that all by himself, like or whoever.
One of the best lines ever when he's, hey, a couple of big gulps, huh? Well,
Yeah, that was
Stanley,
improv.
That was ad-lib.
It was.
Well,
it was.
so once we got to the certain point where I was like, I'm either these guys are going to turn on me and I'm going to get. They're
You
gonna,
say turn on you?
Yeah, I was like, either
You know,
I-
listen,
like-
Jeff and I had the same concern that you and your dad were going to spar, but
Well,
other than that, we were good. That was
Yeah.
it. Nobody else was going to. We were in your corner. Chris was
100%.
so nervous he could barely sit. He couldn't even get down and out of the
Wait,
chair.
Chris
He
was
so
nervous?
He was a mess. He had no lines. He was a
all
mess.
he had to do was act
He was
like
he was a disaster. He asked me 10 times, "What do we got to do in the radio studio?" I said, "Don't worry, I'll do everything. You just sit
Well,
there."
we didn't even really mean for Chris not to have any lines. I didn't realize.
No, that would have been trouble.
I didn't realize he
Not
was
that
that
he couldn't
nervous.
have done it, but he's better off just off the cuff. It's not going to be very good.
Well,
if you gotta
I tell you
memorize
what,
lines.
it was a good thing that. Well, before that, to explain real quick, I don't know if we can even really explain
No,
what
tell people why we were doing
made the
it.
commercial for.
it wasn't really a commercial.
technically it's not a commercial.
It's not something we're going to
like
put
a
out on
promotional
social
video.
media. That like,
And I'm glad.
Yes.
God, am I glad.
You did really good.
No, you're
Jeff.
so full of shit.
No, you
No, you
did.
did.
You were running the meeting.
You
Yeah,
did.
Jeff
The
was a
thing is,
meeting
Jeff,
guy.
Jeff, you look like the world's best professor.
Here's the thing, Jeff. I told you what to do.
I love you guys, but you were all so full of
Listen,
shit.
Well, I didn't get to see your performance, but I'm going to guess that it was good.
But here's what I'm going to say. You went in and you, like, for the first line, you stayed to the script and you were like, and that was it. But then, after probably about 45 minutes of waiting, I'm assuming you probably kind of relaxed.
He refined the take.
But then you would ad-lib, and then you did really good. I think you did really
What?
good.
And
That's what Days of Our Lives called me last night. Wanted to know what.
I'll say this. Talk about attractive people. On soap operas, they're
Hold
all...
on. Golf clap.
Yes, yes.
And then it's on during the radio, and I'll watch, like...
Yeah,
Smut
you
TV
probably got
on
yeah,
channel
because
CBS.
you have Young and the Restless
Yes.
and Bold and the Beautiful back to back right on there.
The plot is, honestly, if you watch it muted for a whole season, you probably could figure out what the plot was
Oh, without a doubt.
any talking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Every
So-
time I look up on that screen, like a woman that is at least a 9 is on.
In
at
some
least.
sort of lingerie.
Yes.
And sleep with some dude she shouldn't be sleeping
They're
with.
making
And
it.
here's the deal. That's the way life should be.
Yeah.
Hey, guys,
Every
this
couple
is,
weeks is a different guy.
Hey, this is completely random, and I was actually thinking about this today. So say you had that soap opera woman. She's like a 10, and you could. This is so weird. You could
I'm kinda pumped to do this.
date her. She's a 10. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's a 10. She's like, we can date, but I don't shower.
Oh. Wait, does
Like-
she?
Are you
does-
date? Are you
does she
dating?
Like,
stink?
do you-
Not
do
a
you-
She
shot.
do you
showers like
bathe?
once. She showers and bathes maybe once every like
Wait,
month.
like no
Not a
tub
shot.
either?
Not a shot.
What's that?
No tub?
No tubby.
No, no
Like
tub.
no,
No tub.
like Roman bathhouse?
Nothing.
What if-
Nothing.
what if I,
She
like-
just,
No
she like just
soaking in the
doesn't
river?
do it.
She's
But she's a
aquaphobic.
10 though.
What if I
about
convince her
So
to
she
swim?
doesn't wash her orifices, is what
No,
you're saying.
she
What if he
stinks.
convinced
She's
her to
stinky.
swim?
To swim, yeah. Can we go to the beach?
That's
Can we
fair.
go?
Or
Yeah.
what about
Like
in
the
your guys'
pool?
neighbor's
gotta trick her.
backyard that I thought that was a pool, like a
Well,
fast setting. If it heats water.
She,
Well,
she,
they can make
let's-
kettle
it-
corn.
kettle
Does she
corn.
leak?
in this instance, she doesn't do anything and
Jared,
she
not
just
a
stinks.
shot.
Nope.
But she's,
that's not
but she's
gonna work,
gorgeous.
Jared.
It's not going to work.
No.
Because here's the deal. How fucking close can you get to her?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I'd
going to
vomit.
smell like a dumpster, like on a hot
yeah,
day.
yeah, like it's like she smells bad, but
And that
she's
means she probably has hairy pits.
Oh.
100%
Yeah.
hair on her knuckles.
Oh.
And I don't think that's going to work. I'd rather have a 7 that
I'll say this: if
showers.
she's not showering, she's probably not wiping.
I don't know
either, so-
why.
Right,
I don't know
Corey.
why I
I mean,
thought of
and
that.
if she does, what effect is it going to have?
What a
Yeah,
lovely.
what's your answer?
Hey,
Where's
what-
that question come
Hey,
from?
Jack.
I think Jared's a yes.
No,
Jared, I think for a short period of time you
Guys.
say yes.
I
I
think,
would
well,
also-
Hey, what
if
a
she's-
conversation
if she's
to have
an
in a restaurant.
If she's an absolute 10, like drop dead,
Like
I'd
for
make-
one
I'd
night,
I'd
but if
consider,
Jared,
I'd
no.
for
consider
one
it.
night I can hold
Jared,
my
no.
nose, but like for
Imagine you want to go out to a nice dinner and everybody's sitting around the table and they go, "What smells?"
this pig pen, like
Smells
she's
just
got
my
this-
wife.
yeah.
Well,
And you
well,
have
maybe
not Misty, but
people
Mustard.
would.
She's
People
like a
wouldn't
cover
expect
girl
it, though.
model.
Maybe they would be like,
I
"Oh,
think
it's somebody
catch
else.
on
It's
eventually.
not her."
Anyway, also, one thing I want to stress right now is we technically have an audience.
Yeah.
We got a young child in the
And
audience as
people
well.
are eating.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
So,
and
anyway.
Jared decides to get us with that
Yeah,
one.
sorry. I
think that's
literally
very
thought.
No, you don't need to
I
apologize.
literally
I'm
thought
just
about that
saying.
today. I think I was working out and I thought about that because I saw some people in there and I'm like,
Well, I
what if,
mean,
what
if
if
you
a girl?
catch a girl after a workout, that's a whole different
Well,
story.
and that's
Yeah.
what I thought. I'm like,
That's
I'm
not
like,
like
what if-
that's not like
That's
day.
actually
That's
kinda
not
hot.
days without bathing. That's
Well,
that's the difference.
that's
Well, yeah,
the
but-
greasy
but-
hair's enough for me.
Well, that was my
Oh,
thinking. Is like, what if she
fuck
gets done
that.
working out and she goes home and she doesn't shower? Like,
and that's okay, but I can't do
no,
it
no,
for
I mean for
multiple
like
days.
like for a few days.
Oh, no, not for a few
No.
days. For the single day,
Jared.
for the single hour.
What?
There's no way. There's no
Here's
way.
what I'm
It's gonna
tell
be
you.
tough.
No.
And I'm going to go left of center, and I'm going to be always I do. When it's the not so fresh feeling for 3 or 4 days,
Well,
there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Point to A, drop the mic and walk
Gag
out.
me.
Yes. But
So it's a no
anyway,
from
anyway,
everyone.
all
Merry
the-
Christmas.
Let's rewind all the way back
Oh,
So we filmed this commercial yesterday. And today's Wednesday, so we filmed the commercial yesterday. Is it? Yeah. Is it Wednesday?
This one's hump day.
Good job.
Hump day.
Hey.
And we filmed it. It took us about 2 hours,
Hour and a half.
hour and a
probably.
half. And it's for I won't say specifics just in case I'm not allowed. I don't think I wouldn't be allowed, but it's for a competition that we're entering. We basically just explained what the Pine Room was and some things that we needed. Anyway, it's nothing you're going to see on
Actually, well, no,
social
they'll
media.
probably see it on our. Yeah, they
but
do have to see it because it has to be a
Just
public
stay
video.
tuned.
So,
Maybe
but
you'll
anyway,
see
you'll
It's
you'll
nothing-
probably see
nothing
it.
earth-shattering.
Yeah.
But we are here at Belmont Brewerks. This is our second time here. Matt, Coach, and Chris did Better's Last Stand a couple weeks ago here. It was a fun time. We had some good food, good beer. Rick was nice enough to invite us back, and we're here again. Again, beautiful.
Place is beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's
It is
absolutely
very
beautiful.
nice.
Great setting.
If you live in Wheeling, and obviously you're not, if
The
some
Ohio
of you are
Valley.
listening to this and you live in the Ohio Valley, it's not my point was, if you live in Wheeling or around the area, it's not a bad drive.
No, not at all.
It's no different than driving up to the Highlands.
No. Actually, easier.
Oh, it's way,
A
it's
lot
way
easier.
easier.
Oh,
Yeah.
like a lot easier.
But
You don't have to go through downtown.
Yeah, right. You avoid the potholes.
Yeah, if you're right, you're good.
You're
Yeah,
good.
that's
You're
all.
right.
You're good.
yeah, so
Especially from the hood.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Rick, we met him. I think before we had talked to him. Soup had, of course, he's our liaison for most of the things that we get into. But Soup talked to him before Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, we had him on the radio
Yeah.
show. Yep.
We talked to him on the radio about Dancing with the Stars and about Brewworks, and now we're here and we've built a pretty good relationship now.
Rick's become a good friend. He really
Yeah,
has
We're like
been
best friends now.
absolutely wonderful. His staff here is just outstanding. They
I
do
tell you
an
what, I
amazing
agree.
job.
What do you think? This is like, and I'm
And I'm not just saying that
Yeah.
either. You guys know us, Jeff and I especially. We're not just making that up. If I didn't think they were good, I wouldn't say it.
Well, here's what I think is very impressive. So I met him for the first time at the Civic Center at the hockey game. So tonight was the second time. He remembered my name.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but at the end of the day, when you're a businessman in a small town and you can remember somebody's name for the first time,
Yes.
I'll be honest.
Yes.
with you,
100%.
That's
It's
impressive.
a great
Absolutely.
quality. They got a great thing going here.
Yeah, and he was nice enough to, of course, have us back, and we've built a pretty good relationship. I want to give a shout out. I know I said at the beginning of the show, his wife Heather did all the decorations. I think she's had some previous experience decorating.
Decorated Wilson Lodge
That's
for
what
several years.
That's what I thought. I didn't want to say it because
Yes,
I
he
was
told
too
me about
afraid.
that again tonight.
Think about that.
Amazing.
Think about that.
He said it
That's
took her 4
unbelievable.
straight weeks.
That's a lot
all
of
she did.
that's a lot of responsibility.
Yes,
Oh my God.
huge. For amount of Christmas action they take at
Oh my
Ogilvy.
gosh.
Oh my
man.
God.
And it really
High
does.
pressure.
I mean, back here, if you're just listening to this, you should probably go check it out on YouTube. Behind us is this absolutely gorgeous Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Really, really
Well,
nice.
people got like about 3 weeks to do this before Christmas.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
The setting in here is wonderful. It
Yeah.
really is. Bring your date, bring your family, whatever you want to do. It's
Yes.
perfect.
It really is Hallmark-esque. It's
and
awesome.
make sure, if you bring a date here, make sure she showers.
Yeah, that's a good first step.
Yeah.
Hold on, here's going to be the big question. Is that going to be, you've made statements before, Matthew, about don't take them to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh no, you want to go to
But
yeah.
my question is,
Right.
will this
No, this is a local. I would
Will
say
this-
this
will
might
this
be the
make
local
things
spot.
happen afterwards?
I
Hey,
think so. Might
right?
happen a little bit action before.
We didn't return to this conversation, but since we had this conversation on our show about Matt was an avid believer that the Cheesecake Factory was the worst place to take a girl on a first date, and you sent that list.
Well, I mean,
crazy.
was I wrong?
Crazy. No.
The girls
Number
rated
one?
it. It was the #1 place to not take your first date. It's rated by 1,000 girls. They did random sample. 1,000
Why,
women.
though? What was the reasoning behind that?
I don't know. I
wonder why.
Can you reason with a lady?
I'm sure the
It's
best
tough
one
to
probably
do,
works,
Cooley.
but-
I mean, they just said that was why.
There were, Matt, there were a lot of things on that list where I'm like, damn, I've done that before. Like,
Oh,
I
one guy said-
I didn't get past one. So what worse on the
oh
others?
shit, I think one was.
It was like movie theater was
I'll
up there.
I'll pull it out. No, movie theater's tough because you
Yeah,
can't
Matt,
talk.
give us the list. One was like a long.
His house
A
was
long
one
drive.
of them.
Yeah, his house is a horrible first play.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have a history and really know the girl, which you wouldn't really do
Where
on a
was your
first
first
date.
date with Cheryl?
Here we go. Got it. Got it right.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
good one.
That's a good
That's
one.
got ambiance. All right, here's with the top ones. Cheesecake Factory, #1 place to not take a date. Applebee's, #2. Chili's, #3.
Chili's.
Chipotle, Jarrett.
Oh,
#4. Olive Garden, #5.
Well, I can't say I've done that, but I would have.
I've done
Not anymore
Chipotle.
though.
And then the
Didn't go
movies
anywhere,
was
so maybe
6
that's
and
why.
your house was 7.
That's
Any fast food chain, Buffalo Wild Wings and Wingstop
hey,
are the
look
top
at
10.
14.
Hold on, what was 14?
14 is Denny's.
Lenny's.
Listen,
Listen, if you take now here, I'll give it a little caveat. You take a girl out to a really good concert or something outside, summertime, drinking heavily. You maybe hit the Denny's on the way home, but that's
3
the
o'clock in
only
the morning. I agree with
exception.
that.
But that's like a tack on.
Like you take her to the band, like you know this girl's in love with this band. You take her to it. You got great seats. It's an incredible night. And then
that's
she's
the date.
starving at the end, and the only place open is Denny's. That seals the deal.
I think
I'm trying. Have you had any like bad first dates like that you've taken anywhere?
I haven't really been on
Cooley,
too
what's
many-
your go-to spot for the? You got a girl. Now you
Miss
have
Home?
the girl.
I'm not gonna get too much
The
detail.
girl of your dreams, and she's like, Tyler, take me out tonight for a great night. What's the plan? What do you go
Oh
to?
man, I guess I've never really thought about it.
well, you're not I don't think you're really a guy that if you talk to a girl, it's like you plan the date as if going out. Yours is more like a hanging out.
Well,
I'd say you're on the list.
But
because
what if you
you're-
hang out with her a few times, and then she's like, no, I want. And I think most people have had this happen. Like you may get to know a girl a little bit in weird ways, whether you work with her, whether whatever, friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And then one night the girl likes you, and she says,
Let's
take
go
me out.
Yeah.
Let's go somewhere.
I'll say
Let's
one
do
of my
something."
favorite first dates was putt-putt.
That's a good one.
Putt-putt's a great
I
one.
heard a guy give that as his
respect
absolute
that.
go-to, and he said, "I beat her so bad I slaughtered her." Because somebody asked, "Did you let her win?" And he said, "No, absolutely not."
Maybe that's a good.
I like it.
I
That
think
is
you
a
need
good
an
job,
activity.
Cools.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say a couple times I've done this, and it was kind of not really like a formal one. It just kind of was like, hey, I had to go to Sheetz for something. I was like, hey, you want to tag along? Go to from West Lib, so it's a quick drive. Just drive down, go to Sheetz real quick.
that's a
I mean,
good
and it
one.
wasn't like I'm not like. It wasn't like, hey, this is we need to go
me,
out.
that's like
it
a
was kind of
setup.
it was
Yeah,
kind of like
that's not a
it was just
date.
kind of to get to know.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, which is
I think I've done that before
so.
too.
But
Now, would you say that when we're talking about first dates, we're talking about maybe you know a girl for a little bit, you started talking, maybe you've hung out, maybe at her
Right,
place,
exactly.
like just hang out, and
then
the
it gets
date.
kind of to the little bit. You kind of get the cues that it could be serious.
I gotta give myself a pat on the back.
Okay, what did you do?
I've never been on a date in my life. I never took a girl on a date beforehand.
Okay.
I took her. We went up to the mall. We went to the arcade. We went to the
good one.
arcade.
I love the arcade.
We played air hockey. We played the racing cart.
I think that's super badass.
That's a really good
super
one.
badass.
I think
That's
I
right
beat-
up there with putt-putt golf.
I
in my
think I
opinion.
beat her and everything.
Right.
Then we went
you
out.
should.
You
We
can't
got-
let her win.
Yeah.
We got
you can't let her
Fabio's
win.
pizza. We got Fabio's pizza afterwards.
Phenomenal.
Went to the candy store.
Yeah, Joe, that's pretty solid. I gotta tell you,
I agree
that's
with that,
really
'cause I
good.
think at the end of the day, when you go so elaborate like the first time, like I
That's
think
overdoing
simplicity
it.
is a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. Actually, our guy right here talked about keep it simple earlier.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's
Yeah.
the same thing. I would think honestly, it's the
Jared-
same way to look at that.
Damn.
Jared, just don't take the girl to a pirate game as a
Hey, maybe I might have to now.
She'll
But I
leave.
think back to your point, Jared. I think the whole impromptu thing, and I know we're talking about dates, so probably that's not a fair example, but I think the impromptu thing is probably the best thing. Period.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not like I'm like sitting there like nervous about it and thinking about it all day.
You
I'm
both
like,
are rolling together.
I'm like,
You
hey,
got- yeah.
you want to
Sheets
tag?
Midnight Run's a solid
yeah,
play.
honestly,
Yeah, and I'm
That's
trying
a
to
good.
think,
That's a good conduit to.
I can't think
more.
of
Because I don't
like.
think- I think that is, like you said, I don't think that's a date. That's
Right. No,
not-
it's
no.
not. But
It's
it's
more-
setting the stage. It's
Yeah.
a good table setter.
Because I never asked him, like, Han and I hung out, but I never used the word date until I was like, let's go out. Let's go do something. But, I don't know. Like,
Hold on,
I like your approach.
But
Sean.
here's the deal, Jubber. You said at one point in time, I think it was early on, about when quote unquote are you declared boyfriend and girlfriend? Do you remember this conversation?
I think this whole
Oh, I hate
concept
that.
is so stupid.
Well, it's not.
I think
you're
it's-
labeling. Why are you labeling?
It's
at
like,
that time?
but, and I get it. I get you want to clear things up, but I'll never forget. I was with, I think I was with maybe Hannah's friends or out somewhere, and a girl came up to me and said, "Hey, what's the deal?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like,
Yeah,
what's
that's
wrong?
right. This is coming back.
And I
This
was
is
like-
over a cigar and a beer that I could probably hardly
Yes.
remember right now. Yes.
And she said, "How come you haven't asked me to be a girlfriend?" I was like, what do you mean?
Go steady.
We've been like hanging out and doing shit. Like I just assumed we're dating, and I kind of didn't say anything about it, and then I went to Veon, who obviously is a friend of the show and been on the show.
You went to say for counsel?
Yeah, because he knows he's like
He's very good at
a
this
good
kind of
move.
stuff.
Good
he
move.
knows what he's doing.
He is.
So I said to Say, I was like, hey, her friend asked me about me asking her to be a girlfriend. Is that a thing? And he was like, oh, absolutely. You got to do that.
You do. You just gotta make it clear.
But I think that's so weird for me to go
Is
up
it
to her.
just for the exclusivity? Is that why?
Well, just so we
Like
know
she
where the
knows
line's drawn.
that, like, you're
Because
bonded
people will be out
together.
here just using you for your attention and all that. So you might as well, if it's known, then you know that.
I agree, Jubb. It's a stupid way to title it, but I guess you would want to try to feel like, okay, this girl is exclusively for me, and I'm exclusively for
Yeah.
her for the time being. I guess that makes a little bit of sense.
And I was like at the point of when I was at the point of talking to Hannah, we'd been talking for months and we'd been hanging out and doing stuff. And I just assumed that you just got to that status, like you just got.
I understand
Now,
where you're at.
And I do respect that too,
And
100%.
I never once
Unfortunately,
thought.
society's all about titles.
Like I never
Stamp
once
it.
thought about her. I
Stamp.
was never like, hey, we're not. This isn't a thing. It's like as soon as we started hanging out again,
You
and
took
again,
it as that,
and he made a point where it was like,
Who's he? Cooley or Jared?
You have to ask.
For our listening only audience.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
He was
gestured
pointing.
at him. Cooley. I said, you have to ask, will you be my girlfriend?
Yeah.
That's so weird. That's
mean,
not weird.
I agree.
I
No,
just-
I agree with you.
Nah,
I just think
I
it's
mean,
the
it's
best
a little
way.
awkward,
But
for
why
sure.
can't you just say, hey, you know what?
How else
What
would you
are
say
we?
it?
What are we?
Well,
What's
then
going
nobody
on?
would boyfriend
It's
girlfriend.
rare to find a girl that'll say yes these days, though, because they all
Oh.
try to play the
You can
field.
say it
so
that
you
way.
got a good
You
one.
can say it that way too. There's no one way to say it,
I
but
like
I
you
think as
say,
long
hey,
as you
Jared knows. These
Oh.
girls
As long
are
as you address it,
conniving and horrible.
is my point.
They're mean.
Hannah's such
You
a
address it.
nice-hearted girl.
He says like they're conniving.
They are.
They are.
I'd say
They are.
Hannah's
You know
like
who you are out there.
Hannah's literally like a godsend.
She's just
Seriously.
such a sweet
She
girl.
is. I'll tell you
Hey,
what.
Hannah-
And I'm not,
I'll tell you what,
again,
Jubb,
I'm not
Jubb.
just saying that, Jubb. I read people pretty well, I would say, and my immediate first impression of her
100%.
was so good.
Hey,
And I would
Sha-
not say that about many people.
Hannah, if
like
you're listening to
that.
this, shout out
Probably
to
nobody
Hannah.
Jared dated.
Shout out to Hannah. She's graduating on Saturday.
that's
so
right.
That's
shout
right.
out to
I love
Hannah.
that.
Graduation.
right.
Yes.
wow.
That's it. That's it.
Jalapenos,
Even the
Hannah.
crowd's
Yeah.
clapping.
But here's the deal. So let me ask you this question. Back to that. So when you quote unquote said, "Hey, are you gonna be my girlfriend?" Like, what did that look like? Was that like an awkward moment for
I'll
you?
tell you what I
or
did.
you been so comfortable this whole time that it was as simple as, "Hey, bitch, you wanna be my girlfriend?"
Gotcha.
I did say it kind of like that, but
You did?
Because I talked to her about it. I was like, "Hey, do I have to ask you to be my girlfriend?" She's like, "I mean, yeah, that's what you do." So I was like, "Okay." So we went out and we drank, and if she's listening to this, I'm busting her out a little bit.
Oh, well.
We got
She'll be good.
pretty, but she
Sauced up.
I think that was the night she might have rolled her ankle, but anyway.
Oh yeah.
She was putting back, but I asked her that night, and then in the morning I was like, "Hey, you remember what I asked you?" And she said no. She didn't
Hey,
remember.
let's get 15 in her. She's got to say yes. Good ploy, Job. I like it.
And I said, "Hey, do you remember what I asked you?" She said no, and I was like, "All right, good." And I said, then I asked her again. It was just
It's like going back in time.
That's all good though.
Good. Glad it worked out. All the best to Hannah
Yes, without
and
a
you.
doubt. I mean,
What would you
Lovely,
say?
lovely
good
girl.
people. Good people.
When do you think when you start? All right, this is a good conversation. This is a good.
Oh,
point.
boy.
This is a good point. Okay, so you meet a girl. Let's set a timeline. When do you think is a time that you date, a time that you get engaged, and a time you get married? Like, what's the length of time in between those stages?
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of like what Matt said earlier. I don't think you should label any of that.
Yeah.
You don't think?
Not at all. And I
Like-
think at the end of the day, for anybody to do that, and I understand that probably some people don't want to waste time, so they want to kind of see where they stand, I guess, for lack of better terms.
Right.
Especially if somebody's playing with somebody's emotions, you're not. If you feel like somebody's not all in, quote unquote, for lack of better terms. But I think to define those moments, you're set up for fucking failure from the get-go.
What was the timeline with you and Cheryl?
Truly no time. Oh, meaning as in we met in 99 and got married, I think it was in 03, 04.
So
Yeah,
4
that would
5
be
years.
logical.
Yeah. See that to me is a healthy.
But let me
span.
back up. There's no
Handful of
thing.
years.
Excuse me. We got married in 03. There's no like thinking about it.
Yeah, hey, be careful.
Cheryl's listening. He said
Yeah,
her
careful,
three-
Jeff.
I got in Mexico. I
promise.
got drunk. I wasn't sure what happened that night. Kind of thing, but
Like the
I would
hangover.
say, just again, like Jeff said, you can't ever label any of this stuff. You may find the perfect person for you and get married over the weekend. I wouldn't do that, but I'm not going to tell anybody else not to. But I would
there's
say,
been all kinds of successful marriages with that too.
I would say,
agree
in
with
my
you, though.
mind, what I would say is you date for a few years, couple, 2, whatever, and then gradually progress. I would say you could have the whole thing wrapped up in a half dozen years.
Yeah. I told Hannah.
But again, it's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah, and I just think for you to like, I know, which is weird, and I'm thinking if you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you gotta
better make sure it's right.
gotta make sure that is the right person. Now, obviously, if you know, you know, and I'm not going to make a comment on that because I don't want to make things weird.
I respect that.
But like, here's what I compare it to.
We'll let her
I've
decide.
known him. I've known Cooley for how long?
Since Pinto
17
Pink-
years.
Yeah, what?
Close to almost 2 decades. So you think how well I know him? How well do I need to know a person that I'm going to live with, spend my life with, and have a family with? You know, how well do I need to get to know that person? I mean, it takes me. I mean, I still don't know everything about him.
I think at the end of the day, you need to live together. We talked about that in a couple.
What are you getting at, your job?
No, I'm just saying, like,
You wouldn't start a family with me?
I would, yeah.
Today's
had an
world,
emotional moment right there.
today's world, guys, you'll probably get a lot of endorsements.
But
for
I'm
that.
saying, sometimes.
Which one of you's going to carry the baby? We're going to figure out next. I'm not sure I want to be there for that.
I don't know.
But I'm just saying.
I heard
think,
officially inseminating is going to be really weird, fellas.
I think you need to. I always think it's a red flag when I see a couple that. And this is not a knock, because if you know, again, you know. But I always think it's a bit of a red flag when you start dating and within 3 months you're already.
That's terrible.
To me, that always.
Again,
Hey,
I
it's
can
like
always-
Champ says, it'll never work.
Yeah,
work,
most
right,
of the
Jack?
times it
Nope.
wouldn't. But I'm sure there's some situations where maybe it just works that
And
way.
probably
But
like with like military people, like that are overseas and
That's fair.
deployed,
I definitely think
and
that's
stuff
fair.
like that. But this is a good wholesome conversation for Christmas.
Well, actually,
time.
I have something for you because I told Matt for some reason my wife and I had like a parenting conversation from Wintersville down today, and I have no idea why. But we talked about this too. Can you imagine? So, if you are compatible with your spouse, and hands down, A to Z relationship is great, and then all of a sudden you have a baby because you can't practice parenting skills before getting married, right? Then all of a sudden you have a baby. You can talk about your parenting skills, but I'm gonna be very honest with you, fellas. When you do have a kid, it truly like that feeling is. You can talk about having a kid, but when it actually comes, it's a totally different ballgame. So what I'm getting at is you can talk about being
Heater's
a
on.
parent. But until it comes out, so what happens if you are compatible with the other person, then you have completely opposite ends of the spectrum parenting skills?
Probably important to talk
like
about.
just a reaction to how.
I
when
feel like you could discuss some of that, though.
Yeah,
like,
you probably
You
should.
could prepare for some of that. Like, but
Well,
depends
Maybe
what
you should have a dog or something
Like-
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you when you had Luke? Did you guys like click? Were you on the same page, you and Cheryl? So you guys were good. Like what was?
It probably happens more later in life, where we become a little bit opposite.
Yeah.
From a standpoint, I'm a little bit more open-minded to the partying scene, that kind of thing, where the wifey would be like, "Fuck no, that's a no, shut it down."
See,
I think that's where that balance. But at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about that. Too, as long as you're on the same wavelengths on how to discipline, that type of stuff. At the early ages, that's all that matters.
I guess it's
Right,
like
right.
as a baby, both your main focus is keeping this kid alive.
And obviously providing well and
Yeah,
all that
but
stuff.
then as you get
Yeah,
older,
don't kill the kid. I agree.
Yeah,
That's kind of important.
Well, I would say in
And
general,
then mold
Jeff
him
just
into
feeds it
a
and turns the
nice
light out
young
and leaves
man,
it.
which he
Just make
is.
sure it's
Jeff and
alive.
Cheryl's
Well,
done wonderful.
I think that like I think Coach and my mom, like when we were younger, my mom really was kind of like
Your mom was protected.
very protective over.
Still is.
And but I think as we've got older, she's realized that like we're not like we are stupid, but
not
like
helpless.
we're not gonna like go die. Like if we go out, like we're not
not
gonna
idiots.
we're not just gonna go die and then that'll be
Well,
it.
She still says some stuff like, I would walk on the trail. I think I said this on here before. She said, be careful down there. People get kidnapped. And I was like, Mom, I am 6 foot, 230 pounds. The chances of a guy coming out of the woods and dragging me into a van are.
But here's the funny part about that. And my dad said it to me, and my dad passed when he was 81, and he said it to his deathbed. Jeffrey, even at 81, I'm still worrying about you.
Yeah.
And so it never changes. And here's the deal: if you're a good parent,
Oh,
you
absolutely.
don't give a fuck. It don't matter. But
And-
if you're
and
a
I
hard-
still-
Same way.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, I
she
still.
thinks we're dumb as hell.
yeah, right.
She
Oh
does.
my gosh, I
My
still
mom
can't
treats
believe.
us like children.
I cannot believe that my mom let me go to drive to Florida by myself and live there by myself for the entire summer and not. I remember her bawling her eyes out when I was leaving. I'm like, Mom, I'm just going for the summer. I'm
But
not
I
leaving.
respect that though.
Oh,
'cause
but
I
I'm
would've
like,
bawled my eyes out, for
absolutely.
sure.
She cried when we went to West Lip, 15 minutes away.
You know what it is? It's not about. That's what you guys will understand too.
Yeah.
It's about the next step in life.
Yeah.
From a standpoint,
And
it's
it's-
about the fact of the matter. So you guys are moving on.
You guys are starting to not need
Yeah,
her as much.
because
Yeah.
Like
100%.
from here on out, things are not going to be.
It's not going to be the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's something that we will like you said, Jeff. We don't understand yet, and eventually, hopefully, we will.
Right.
But
So let's
shout out to everybody's parents.
Right.
We love you.
Well, here's the deal. Everybody up on this thing, obviously, their parents did very well.
pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes,
Yeah, so
we
let's
love you.
switch. Since it's a Christmas season, we're going to take a little break here in a second, and then we're going to have some more guys in. Let's
Thank you,
let's-
Justin, our guy, hooking us
Yeah,
up.
thank you. So let's switch a little bit to some holiday talk.
It's the
We got a little
holidays.
bit.
I've got another question for you guys, and I've been thinking about this.
Is this
la-
holiday
Wait,
related?
Yes, it is. It's very holiday related.
Would you sit
And-
on Santa's lap if you didn't shower?
No. This is
Santa was
actually
a woman.
this is Christmas. This is holiday related, and because last night and actually Jeff and I were just talking about this before the show. I was listening to some Michael Bublé, unbelievable Christmas guy. I don't know if anybody does it better, but what in your mind? What is the greatest Christmas song of all time?
We talked about this on the radio.
I think we
And
did.
we will on the holidays.
And
special.
and
Feliz Navidad.
and a lot of people. Basically, the consensus is it's Mariah Carey's "All I Want for
That's
Christmas
a
Is
terrible
You."
consensus.
That's what a lot of people
I
think.
don't think it's a
And-
bad song.
I
just
love
think
the
it's
song. It wouldn't be
overplayed.
my favorite.
No,
Yeah, it
my
wouldn't be
in my opinion, not the best, but my favorite is absolutely. Oh
Thank
my
you
gosh!
so much, my friend.
Justin.
Really
oh,
appreciate it, dude.
Hold on, we're getting another beer
Favorite
here.
Christmas song?
Real quick, yeah. Nothing like on the
We're
spot.
asking our
Nothing like
server
on the
here what our
spot.
favorite Christmas song is.
Let me guess, you're gonna guess Mariah Carey, right?
That's my brother's.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Something. Give me something. All right, come back.
All right.
He's
Come
got-
back.
Drink a beer and come back.
No, but I'll say my favorite Christmas song of all time. I absolutely love this song, "Run, Run, Rudolph," or "Run, Rudolph, Run," however you want to say it, by Chuck Berry.
That's fair.
Absolutely love that song.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's individualized.
Okay.
Oh,
Good for
I
you.
love that song.
Well,
I like the slower Christmas.
you like slow?
Yeah.
I don't like
Probably
any
more
of
the
it.
vibe of
Yeah.
the Christmas.
I know it took a lot of heat on the radio, but I love Fairy Tale of New York by the Tones.
You were your dad, he crushed you for that.
Have you
Yeah,
heard
a
that
lot of
song,
people
Jim?
probably don't even know that song.
It's a guy from the UK. He actually just died last week. The lead singer. It's unbelievable.
Did you say from
song.
Ukraine?
UK.
UK, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Right.
but he's incredible story to it. It's a really good tune. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to Fairy Tale of New York. Great song.
To answer your question, I probably could name one.
Yeah.
And I know that's a really cheesy statement, and that's the cop out. But you know what I do like? My brother-in-law turned me on to what the hell do you call that person, Lex or whatever? The classic instrumental
Wonderful.
music, like unbelievable. Kick back in my house, I love that vibe.
Classical music is so
Like with a
so
Christmas
soothing.
vibe too. Oh my
I
god.
listen to a lot of that, like when I'm winding down for bed.
Super.
It's
Kinda
fantastic.
like
Doesn't
what we
get
got
any-
right now.
People don't love it.
I got a little bit of a vibe going on right there with that.
What's
I
your
think
favorite
people think
Christmas
it's
song,
not
Cole?
popular to say that.
I don't know if I have one, honestly.
So
I'm not a
good.
big
That.
Christmas music guy. Maybe Feliz Navidad.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I think you can go wrong with them.
I know, cool, that you don't like things that are in that. Do you have an answer?
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Ah.
by Michael Bublé.
Yeah, good call, Chucky.
reading
choice.
here, he
Good
said
choice.
it's,
Good
choice.
it's beginning
Really
to look a
good
lot
pick.
like Christmas by Bublé, is what our
That's
server,
that's good.
our
He
waiter
does a
said.
wonderful rendition.
I
Yes.
would say, like, Cooley, you hate painting, you hate
He hates anything
old
old time.
like
stuff.
Renaissance, you hate,
Yeah.
but you don't like at all classical music.
I don't even know what song is considered
But
classical
I get
music.
that. If that's all you.
Like
I had to go to the
Mozart.
symphony every year of my life.
Like if you could give me an example of a
Nutcracker type stuff.
Like,
Anything that would be.
Tchaikovsky, Bach.
I don't know.
Joe,
Basically,
I
Joe.
clearly don't like it
symphony
'cause I don't know.
They don't
You
have
think-
lyrics. They have.
You were just naming. You
Here we
really
go.
think
Here's
Cooley?
another one of
Do
Jared's.
you really think Cooley would know who that is?
Well, I mean, those are like three of the most
Well,
famous composers ever.
Yeah,
And if you don't really know them,
Like Beethoven.
I got a question
Oh,
to High
no,
County
no, no.
schools. Why
Like the
doesn't he know
strings
this?
type stuff?
Yeah, like a
Oh
Beethoven.
no, I hate
He
that.
had to have known Beethoven. Not
It's
the
just,
dog.
but there's no singing or anything. It's just like, it's just like, I don't know.
It's not for everybody.
No.
Yeah,
it's
I'm not a
truly
fan.
not. It's truly not.
I like rock and all that stuff. But I don't like classical music.
So what's your Christmas go-to then?
Mine?
Cool.
Oh, cool.
I don't like Christmas music.
Police Nomadon?
If I had to pick,
Okay.
but I hate all of it.
That wouldn't be your pick. Would it?
No, I
What
do
you-
not
hold
play
on,
Christmas
hold on.
music.
What do you mean you hate it?
It sucks. I don't think it's
Christmas
like.
Like
music
Bing Crosby,
sucks.
Yeah, I
Silent
don't think it's
Night
very good.
sucks.
Like I don't know why anybody would just turn it on just to listen to it. I think Christmas music is strictly for like a restaurant.
I think it just gets
or
you in the
like
mood.
Ogilvy.
Have
Yeah.
a few drinks with your friends and loved ones, and give gifts to people you love. I mean, I used to be anti-Christmas too because it's so commercialized, but I kind of try to realize that. You know what? I try to make the good parts of Christmas
I like
stand out.
Christmas.
and not
I just don't like the
bad.
music.
Really?
I just
I'm
think
with
it's
you. I
background
don't
music.
want to hear it other than like 2 weeks a year.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I think.
But that makes it special, I think.
I think that's what it makes it so good is because, like with any other genre of music, you hear it year round. Whereas this is like, okay, you get a couple weeks out of the year to listen to it. You only play it really when you're with your friends, with your family, like at the Pine Room when we play and everybody's hanging out and having fun. It's awesome.
Is there any music genre? I'm going to go down the line. I'll start with Jub. Any music genre you will not listen to, no matter like.
Oh,
you're
yeah,
anti.
yeah,
Because
definitely.
people ask me what my favorite music is, and literally it depends on my mood. It depends on my day. I truly have a multifaceted love for music. I can find appreciation in almost every form, whether it's reggae, rap, Christmas music, symphony, classical, rock and roll, country. Like, I truly like things from all parts of it.
I would agree.
Are you like that?
I have one.
Okay, one.
I will
I'm gonna
agree
heavy
with you.
metal?
I agree with you that I like at least one facet of any genre. Like
Bullshit.
I like old country,
Bullshit,
like
Job.
Willie
That is
Nelson.
Head job, you're
Merle Haggard,
absolutely
those
lying.
types of guys.
What?
I
You
love
do
it.
not
I
like
love
country
it.
music.
Yes, I do. Willie Nelson, Cruel Cruel World, Johnny Cash.
Okay, maybe modern
Okay,
country.
maybe modern country you don't like.
no.
No,
which
but
I don't
that's
either.
not what I'm saying is. I like a facet of a genre, so I don't
Right.
I don't like modern country,
That's
but
what I'm
older
saying.
country.
Is there any you just immediately eliminate?
I'll say this: the most ridiculous music
I'm gonna
I've
agree with
ever
Jubb here.
heard in my life. Our buddy Red listens to it. I've never heard anything like it. I wish we were in the office so I could play it for people to listen to it. Go online and listen to a music genre called deathcore. It is.
It's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, see, I would eliminate that, but
That's
to
a
me
tough-
that seems like made up in later times.
Like, I don't understand how you could possibly like it because it's
No,
not.
that's-
There's
It's
just like
no
Screamo,
music
right?
to it.
No,
There's
it's
Yeah.
screaming and
There's no there's
Well,
no
and
music quality. It's
and
all.
And
like,
here's the thing: people think and I'm with Job here. That's what I
No,
cannot.
you're right.
I
You're right
cannot
about
listen-
that.
Really
You're right.
good point.
That would be
But
one that I would
people-
eliminate.
Yes, I would agree.
But I don't even consider that.
People
as
defend.
relevant.
People say, "Oh, you try to do that with your voice. Like this is
Yeah,
this is musical talent." I'm like,
it's ridiculous.
"Oh, maybe it's talent. It's fucking dog shit."
I mean, I could listen to like a song or two about it, maybe, and that's it. But I probably wouldn't enjoy it.
it is absolutely the most
he's trying to
horrendous
find
thing
a
I've
sample.
ever. It is so bad.
But
and
like,
people
from,
think like,
from like mainstream stuff,
right.
is there anything you would eliminate?
no.
For me, no,
Because
too.
I like.
What about you, Coles?
Oh, I'm right there with him. Like heavy metal. Honestly, heavy metal is pushing it for me too.
It is to some regard.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
depends on what you classify heavy metal as.
from mainstream.
Like for Metallica, would you guys classify that?
Yeah, I
Or
wouldn't
like,
mind
no,
that.
I like Metallica.
Iron Maiden?
Metallica, Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden's awesome.
Yes,
Like,
those
yeah,
are all like hard rock.
Yeah.
I like that. from mainstream.
And not all the time. I like to mix it up. All right, good. You got
All right,
one?
yeah, here, this
Yeah,
song is
look at
called
that fucking logo.
Please End Me by Paleface Swiss. Now, can you imagine you get in your car on a Monday morning?
Oh, what if it's your first date?
Oh,
You're gonna look.
and then this is what you hear.
That's a red
I'm gonna
flag.
play it for these
On the way
guys
to
and
the
I'll
cheese
put it up in
factory.
the microphone.
The cheesecake.
See, that's too much.
Well,
That's just too much.
here's where I say
That's awful. Terrible.
Hey, do you guys consider corn to be that bad?
No.
Because I like corn.
I like corn too, 100%.
in
Like
small
Limp
dosages.
Bizkit.
Pretend like we weren't at
Listen,
Tim's and he
a
played it.
little anecdote
Does it say
about
corn?
corn.
They got
K-O-R-N.
good
Yeah,
stuff.
corn. Yeah.
I thought you were saying, do we consider that corn?
No, not like your guys' corn, not shit corn. Corn with a
What?
K. Corn with
I'm
a K.
still actually completely amazed on your guys' fucking new list.
I thought he picked up on it. I think that was really
None of
good.
that shit makes sense to me at all.
Yeah, that
Dude,
corn
I
makes
have
sense.
to remind myself.
I'd
every time they
fucking,
say it.
music's
and I
corn.
love you guys. You fucking dumb.
Oh, it's really. Oh no, I agree, with Jeff. It is.
It's so dumb.
My vocabulary has just these guys can attest to it. I say the most ridiculous shit that like makes absolutely zero sense, and it's like I agree. It is so.
Chubb gave us a
fucking
lot
dumb.
of good vocabulary last night during that commercial shoot.
Oh yeah, he did. He said bad words.
I enjoyed it.
That's
I
the
enjoyed it.
vocabulary I can get down.
Right,
with.
right.
According
Yeah,
to Soup, swearing means you have a lackluster vocabulary, but I disagree.
I disagree with that.
Hold on,
'Cause I
TV
I
timeout.
find myself to have a good vocabulary.
100%. I'll be honest with you. I love you,
cuss a lot.
Sue, but that's fucking 100% not true.
Because usually when you're
They taught him that at Central, though.
They did. And I went to
Jeff-
Central
Jeff,
too,
you
but
learned that. They
I must
tried
have
to
missed
tell
that
you
class.
that,
I was
yeah.
smoking weed then.
Good.
usually when you cuss, it's like an adjective, like this,
Yeah.
like this fucking sucks.
Actually, if you do studies on people, and then this does not put me in this category because I am the furthest thing from intelligent. Actually, if you do people that have done studies on people that cuss the most are sometimes the most intelligent people.
I'm
And here's the deal, that does not include me because I say fuck.
I must be a genius.
It's so real quick anecdote about corn, and then we're gonna swap because I actually do want to bring up a point real quick after this. But we went to was it October
Yeah, it was like a football tailgate party at our cousin's house in the hills of Maryland.
Oh, beautiful house.
Beautiful place.
And they have a house that has speakers throughout the house,
Yeah.
like in
Back
the walls.
deck, on the everywhere.
So no matter where you are in the house, you hear music from anybody where they're playing it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So my cousin Tim got on to this corn playlist and literally played corn for what? I mean,
it was a long
it was a
time.
long
Basically,
time.
the entire day on Sunday,
and
from morning
I
to
was
midnight.
so
Hey, what is corn?
it's like heavy metal.
Oh, awful.
And
Mosh pit.
Look them up, Cooley. They got some really good songs.
they do have good songs, but
Oh,
it
so
was,
it's a band?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was a type of music.
No.
Okay.
So he was playing over again. I had to at one point go into the bathroom and because they had no speakers in the bathroom. I went into the bathroom and just sat in the bathroom to get away from the corn. But back to words.
Back from the corn.
Yeah, the
Not just corn.
You
The
get a corn
corn.
to get away from it.
We should
back
tag
to
them in
words
this.
real quick. What do you think about the Webster's word of the year being Riz? You know what that means?
R-I-Z-Z? I'm trying to think. No,
All right,
I don't think
hey,
so.
Listen,
No.
I got to interrupt you. This is incredible. The Pine Room text line. Do you guys have that on your phone?
Yeah.
Tell me you guys got the message that I got. You couldn't really make this up. Fucking.
Oh, I no, I don't have that. The radio text
Go,
line.
click that. Your dasher is approaching. Look at. Your dasher is approaching with your group order from Maggio's Italiano. Enjoy your meal.
Wait a second.
201 area code.
Where's
so-
201?
I don't know. I got to find that out.
So you're talking about the radio
The
text
Pine
line?
Room radio show text line just got a DoorDash order.
I did not.
Maggio's Italiano.
We got to find out what 201 is.
I guarantee you somebody's not getting this
No,
text.
they're not.
Should we let them know?
It's New Jersey. New Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, F them. New Jersey. Fuck New Jersey.
I bet that place is pretty
All right,
good.
I didn't mean to interrupt the
No,
discussion,
so-
but I was like, man, that's weird.
Riz. You know what it is?
I don't.
Matt?
What was
Riz,
it?
R-I-Z-Z, was the Webster Dictionary word of the year.
No, sir.
It's a new word.
I love this word.
Definitely new.
So-
I mean, I'm sure I've heard it. I have heard it, but I don't really know how. I couldn't define it.
Riz is defined as being overly.
What do you define
It's
it?
charismatic, I
Yeah, I'm
think,
gonna
right?
paraphrase here. It means being charismatic towards
Riz.
Riz is like being able to float.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that?
You got
Being
like,
able to float.
or you got like
Riz
game,
is
like
you got game.
you got game.
Oh.
You're able to pick up girls with Riz.
Cooley's able
Really?
to
Yeah.
Cooley's able to Riz a
I'm
girl
fucking
up.
old. God, am I old?
There's a bunch of like players on it, like Riz Lord and Riz God, and like that's what
Really?
they say.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know about you.
It's
Cooley's
very-
good if Cooley was good at flirting, he would be.
He said if he was good,
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm all for at it.
He'd
Yeah.
be coined a Riz dog.
he'd be a Riz god.
Yeah, Riz Lord, the
What do you
Riz,
gotta do
the
to invent a
Rizzler.
word? Not much.
That's interesting.
Jeff, it's honestly it is
It's really
so
Frank Rizzo.
brain
that's what I
numbing.
was-
You know what we should
It
make?
truly is, right?
It is.
Next year, our goal should be to make corn the #1
phrase,
word in
like
dictionary.
slang.
Yeah.
All right.
Corn
So
red
if
You
you,
guys spell that K-O?
no.
The band's K-O-R-N.
C-O-R-N.
C-O-R,
Corn.
yeah. Corn, like the actual
So
food.
interesting.
Maybe
It's
you can add
awesome.
extra
That's my
into it.
favorite one.
Hey, actually, I don't even know if corn's the worst one. I think down bad maybe the fucking worst
Down,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, down
I use that a
bad.
lot.
That down bad's a bad one.
You're down bad, like you're
If Cooley got his heart broken, he's down bad.
down bad.
Is that all
Means I'm
one
having a
word?
bad day.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Down
having a
bad?
day.
One word?
You got beat up, you're down bad.
That sounds like ass backwards.
Well, you lost a lot of money at the casino, you're down
I mean,
bad.
down bad. If you're gonna use it one word or two, it's one
It
word.
just means like
No,
something
it's
negative.
2 words. It's 2 words.
Oh, down bad. All right. Well, 2 words I can get behind. One word's tough.
All right. Well, hopefully you're enjoying this Christmas little episode.
Very,
went from
very
A to
Christmas
Z.
story.
Literally A to Z.
We had non-bathing women. We've had dating advice. We've had people trying to
Christmas
get
songs.
DoorDash orders in New Jersey. We've had it all.
Yeah.
Thanks to Belmont Brewerks.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
This
Thank
is
you,
such
thank
a
you.
cool
It's beautiful
atmosphere.
here.
I think all of us are enjoying this. so
Truly
far.
awesome. Truly
and
awesome.
This probably won't be our last time, but we got a good lead up to Christmas. It's only December 6th right now, so we got a long way to go. And you got to look forward to, because I'm going to switch out here, you got to look forward to December 22nd at noon is the kickoff of our Christmas special on the Watchdog
5
Radio.
hours.
5 hours of radio.
I don't know if we're gonna
I'm gonna
last
have to
that
get
long.
an IV after
Job's
that.
taking me home again that night.
Yeah, hopefully
I'll
it's
be
not-
down bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there you go. Perfect
man.
use.
There it is.
Boom.
I'll be
We're all
down
gonna be
bad.
down bad.
Look, you're already
next
learning, Jeff.
day.
I know, right?
That's gonna be corn.
Well,
Corn. No, it's not gonna be corn. It's
Look
gonna be a
forward
lot
to
of fun.
Yeah.
look forward to that, December 22nd. I got a long way to go, so we'll remind you a couple times. But until then, we're going to take a quick break, switch out some guys, and then we'll be right back. Thank you, Belmont Brewerks. All right, welcome back to the Pondering Podcast, episode 87. Myself, Matt, Coach, and Rick Veon now here on the show. Rick was on Better's Last Stand with Matt and Coach and Chris last time. Now he's on the regular show. Now he's on the big Big Daddy. This is
Anything can happen.
Yeah,
Well,
anything
This is
can
on
happen.
this is a big stage.
This
Daddy.
This is where the content can go south. We're
But
just-
you gotta let the listeners know that Rick was the second choice here. His
No.
wife Heather was the first choice, and
I-
Coach failed to bring her on. What the
I-
hell
I
happened?
listen,
You owe me money. That was a
I know,
bet.
and I did everything I could in my power. I thought I had her, and she just would not come on. But I told Rick, I literally am not. We are going to come back here for
Until she comes on.
until she comes on. And Rick says, "Good luck. You'll be coming the rest of your life." I'm telling you, I'm going to
there's
get
Heather
her on
in the gallery right now.
before this is over. I will have Heather up here with us. Yes, that's enough.
She said no way.
Oh, and she's such a doll. She's so nice.
It honestly surprises me that she doesn't want anything to do with this. Because she's got such a good personality.
Well, it's not like
Oh,
she
yeah.
doesn't want anything to do with us.
No, I'm saying anything to do with. What do you think she? I think
Maybe
she
she
wants
wants
to kick
nothing
us
to do with
out.
him.
Well, no, but you act like
It might be meat. Maybe
Yeah.
she didn't want anything to do with meat. You
No,
know?
I-
Hey, I'll kick my or I'll kick
Oh,
my
yeah, well, you
coverage.
knew that.
Oh,
back
hell
a
yeah.
long time ago.
But I'm
I'll
saying
deserve
she's
that.
got a really good personality, so I
She's
think
awesome.
that
She would be perfect on
And I
it.
told her it's just conversation. It's not
This isn't
a
like-
Channel 7 interview that she has to just be put on
Inside
the
the
spot.
actor's studio.
I told her you could edit anything she screws up. I said she'd be fine.
there's not a whole
I
lot
don't
to
think you can
screw
really
up.
Oh,
screw
I
it
know
up.
that. Well, believe me, you're not telling me anything I don't know. I'm just telling you she would have been great. Plus, she talks so well, and she's such a lovely
Tell her you call me
person.
Big Daddy now. So tell her that
Well,
maybe
I'm not
she'll
sure
come on.
that I
you
call
know?
you Big Daddy, but
Somebody call me Big Daddy. Yeah. Thought I heard it.
For what reason?
I have no idea.
Should that be the title of the episode? The Pine Room Podcast at Belmont.
Big Daddy
Brewerks
from
with
Cincinnati.
Big
yeah,
Daddy.
yeah, I know, but I didn't know if I was allowed to say that out there.
Yeah, you can say anything on here now.
Yeah, now it's on.
Yeah.
Now it's
no
on.
holds barred. Speaking of which, you guys wanted to bring up, Coach wanted to bring up wrestling a little bit before we get into anything else.
Yeah, well, I want to get into this place first.
And we're not talking about like.
I want to talk about wrestling heavy because that was incredible. But how about the tree behind us? I don't know if you guys talked about this earlier. Did you guys already talk about this?
Yeah, we were just talking about, but well, at the very beginning of the
We
show.
talked about how Heather decorated everything.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
Something
you've already been through all
We
that.
covered.
All
We
right.
talked
But
about.
go ahead, re-hit it. 'cause
Yeah,
go.
it's
the
just
place looks
unbelievable.
amazing.
And you guys don't know this, that she decorated Wilson Lodge, which I'm going to talk
No,
about.
you're right.
Yeah,
we didn't
we
talk
didn't
about
talk
that.
about that.
You did not?
No, we did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've already read.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
Yeah.
But how about let's let Rick talk about it a little bit.
Yes.
Now he had to talk them out of finally quitting doing it because it was such a labor-intensive effort for
Right,
months.
he
and
said
months.
almost a month, 4 weeks of action.
Oh, so you've already talked about that.
Well, we didn't talk with Rick because he's just coming on now, but yeah.
Well, I know you didn't talk to
I
Rick.
subliminally gave it
Go
to
ahead,
him.
Rick,
We were
take
like,
over.
Oh yeah.
Take
So
Take
anyway, your wife is obviously now. What,
She's amazing.
Well, let me ask you
Incredibly
this.
talented.
Let me ask you this. How's your house look?
Unbelievable. I can't even explain it to you. Every room on the first floor is just like this. And I love it, and I'm not even allowed to help. You break
Well,
one
that's
bulb, you
a
do something like that. You put a bulb out of place, you get fired.
Yeah, right.
One of those things where she's got a knack, her mom has a knack, I don't have the knack, but yeah, our house is very beautiful.
Are you a fan of the Christmas season?
Yes and no. I mean, I love Christmas. It's a little long for me.
I
it's-
concur.
Yeah, it's just, if it didn't start in October, I would probably be a lot better with it.
Well, I'd say definitely over the past couple of years, it's definitely moved further into
yeah.
other holidays. I mean,
Definitely.
I was shopping for Halloween decorations, and they were already putting trees and stuff up there.
Well, we put our ghost on a Christmas tree this year, so
When
spider webs all around the Christmas tree.
When did the decorating start at the Veon household?
Actually, just pretty recently, because she took the time to do all this first, and it's a big ordeal for her. And I love her to death, and she's so talented, and she knows that it wears me out a little bit, because then Christmas, I don't even know when Christmas is here. Is it here? Is it gone? I mean, all that's left is presents,
Now,
Right.
when Christmas does arrive, when we get to the day of Christmas, how long will those rooms be decorated after?
I think till after the New Year, at least.
Now,
I mean, it takes so long
Yeah.
to do it, and
what's the time frame? How long does it take her to get?
she's probably spent 3 long days doing it. I mean, like all day, like a 8-hour day.
I mean, I get into
But it,
half hour of decorating the tree, and I'm done. I'm finished.
Half an hour? Good for you. I get about 20 minutes for me,
So ultimately, Rick, and I want to hear your answer to this because I have my thoughts about Christmas. When should the Christmas season start? Like with the decorating, the Christmas carols, and when should it end, in your opinion?
I think 2 weeks before.
I agree. I agree.
And then through New Year's, I'm fine with it because you're not tired of the decorations
Yeah.
yet. You're not
Yes.
tired of the commercials. You're not
Tired of the songs.
Yeah. I mean, it's just basically too long. And by the time Christmas gets here, it's like, oh my
Oh
God.
God, you're done with it.
It's like rip the presents over. It's.
I will say, like going around neighborhoods, though, I feel like it does add a little bit of life to houses. I mean, when those lights come down, then I feel like it's all naked.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I get it brings cheer to people. It brings good tidings, and but it's just too long.
It's a balancing act. Matt, what are your thoughts?
No, I agree. I think Rick and I talked about it when I first got here. Like 2 weeks is kind of a good spot to be in, but on one extreme, the people who the day after Halloween are putting Christmas stuff up, that's insane to me. I think you got to let it go till Thanksgiving, and I'm okay with it. If you want to make it a tradition, Thanksgiving weekend, you get your Christmas stuff out. Okay, I can live with that. But I agree, it's a nice season, but if you overdo it, then it just wears people out.
And they're honestly, in my opinion, there's nothing cooler than Christmas music and lights and the whole thing. But to wear it out like people do, that before Thanksgiving you got all your stuff up.
Halloween.
I mean, like Halloween.
Like
come
Joe
on.
said, he's going to buy Halloween candy. They got Christmas shit up.
Yeah, right.
Ridiculous.
Exactly. I mean, that's not
normal. That's too much.
Could you imagine the power of Christmas if it was only 2 weeks?
Oh,
How
my
much
goodness.
more power and how much
I
more
think it would be
meaning
better, Rick.
Christmas
I do.
Day
I think it
would be if you're just not drained.
Right. And you go into a store and like on December 3rd and there's still no Christmas decorations. You're waiting, you're anticipating, and like on December 10th they bring it all out. It would be like
perfect.
Yeah.
It'd be like unbelievable.
I mean, how excited are you at Christmas after you've been looking at it since Thanksgiving or even, like you said,
it gets
October?
old.
And when do you tear down? After New Year's?
Yeah, I think after New Year's it's fine
Yeah,
because you're not
right after
tired
New
of
Year's.
it. But, you
Right
know,
after
Right
New
after
Year's.
New Year's, yeah.
I mean, to me, it'd be the 26th if, you know,
Right.
just making it
Yeah, I
even
think a
3
week
months.
grace period's good because you're still doing things. You got people in town,
And I think
family
it
and
would.
stuff.
I mean, it's an impossible thing to do. I mean, it's just impossible.
Yes.
But I mean, just when I was a kid, it was such a big deal, but it didn't start. I mean, I remember putting up in like it was snowing.
I feel like
it
it
was
was
mid-December,
definitely
and
so it got cold at least.
you know, yeah,
It was like
but
65 on Halloween.
And I felt like at least like back even when I was a kid, I felt like there was like now it almost trickles into Christmas because it's like it's so drug out that it almost is like a wash
You're just
when it
waiting
comes
for it to get
into,
done.
into Christmas. But like
Right.
back in the day, I remember we would like within the span of 2-3 days, everybody's house had lights on. Now you got 2 houses that start real early, then a couple more join in, then more, and then by the time we get to Christmas, it's like okay, it happened now.
Well, I
Let's
think the
move on.
stores are to blame for that.
oh, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Oh hell,
the
yeah. I
stores are to
couldn't
blame.
agree more.
I mean, honestly, Hobby Lobby has their. They're probably already promoting
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's
They're
the next
taking-
Martin Luther King into Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
Valentine's
And then it'll be Easter.
Yeah, I mean,
I-
really,
I
where,
couldn't
where
agree
do
with
you,
you more.
where do you draw the line as far as promoting the next holiday? It's
Billion-dollar business.
Well,
I mean, that's why
exactly,
we're
and
never
they-
going to change.
Then they
you
want
know?
to jump on the goods before anybody else does. So
And it's like, remember luminaries when we were kids? Everybody did luminaries on the street.
Yes.
Nobody wants to do it because they're tired of Christmas.
Tired of
I mean,
it.
that's
Tired
like,
of
I
it.
gotta
It's
put
like-
sand in the bag.
you're almost like, and then Christmas comes. It's like almost anticlimactic. It's like the
I
day
couldn't
of
agree more.
Christmas, and it's like okay, let's just get it over with so we can move on and get to New Year's and go.
I still like it though. I
No,
still
no,
like
Oh, I
it.
you
love
don't
Christmas.
Like
Yeah.
it. You
I
don't
mean-
like it. I do.
I know, but I'm saying I still like the spirit that everybody gets in. I feel like there's some points of it that I don't enjoy. Like I feel like people go a little bit too hard. But like when I feel like it makes people happier. I feel like you get to see a lot of your friends, family.
A lot of
gets
people
together.
get depressed though. don't
Yeah, I
they?
do.
Oh, absolutely.
I know that for sure. And especially when you still have family and friends, and then when obviously those people start to move on, then I can see how Christmas could definitely be a bit of a downer. But I don't know. I'll ask you this.
Okay.
What's the best gift you got Christmas morning?
Ooh.
When little Rick got up
Little
from his
Rick?
bed and he ran downstairs or wherever and he looked under the tree, what was the best gift you unwrapped?
Wasn't a bottle of bourbon, was it?
No, not yet. My dad was a big bourbon drinker, but he only let me sip out of his glasses. I think you know what? When I was a kid, it was like so big. You
Yes.
know, I mean, there was so many
Yeah,
gifts,
yeah.
and we were a family that opened gifts on Christmas Eve after midnight church, or 11 o'clock church that went to midnight. We came home and opened our gifts, and then Santa Claus came the next day, and we opened a couple under the Christmas tree. You know, because nobody wanted to get up at 5 in the morning.
Right,
You know, so and we
right.
did it that way. I think under the tree, dang, I think we got a cat one year or something like that. Or,
A cat?
Yeah, some cat or something. I don't know.
A kitty cat?
Yeah, I know. Ended up being
Was it in a
dinner.
box?
Oh yeah.
Like on,
I shook it. But yeah, it was just so much stuff. And when I was a kid, it was just like toys, like Star Wars, everything, baseball cards and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And you weren't able to just pinpoint one thing because it was so massive
much,
at my house.
Yeah.
And it was like that when my daughter was born. I have the only grandchild, I have the only niece in my entire family.
Ale.
Yes.
So it was massive. Yeah, Modelo with lime.
We're getting beer orders. From
Christmas was good at your house.
It was good. And it was fun because it never started so early. You know what I mean? It was like,
Exactly.
we didn't put our tree up
Exactly.
until mid-December. I remember my dad putting it, yeah, it was cold, but back then it was cold
Yeah.
and snowed back in the day. I mean, now it's 50 degrees yesterday or something like that.
That is a bummer, though, waking up on Christmas. I mean, I maybe had maybe 1 or 2 times when it snowed on Christmas.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
Go to Chicago.
Yeah.
Had a lot of snow.
The best gift I ever got, I never forget this. I got a basketball. And so I got Rawlings basketball or whatever it was, and because we always played basketball down at and I got a basketball, and I went down after Christmas was over that day and shoveled the court off. There was like a couple inches of snow and shot basketball. When I had that, I thought it was the greatest thing I ever got.
Where'd you play when you were a kid?
24th Street in Warwood. I grew up in Warwood on 24th Street. We had a half-court basketball court. I thought it was the greatest gift I ever got. And Job, you look at me like that's unbelievable, but that's the difference between you and me. That was an
you like
unbelievable.
sports.
And my
You don't
yeah,
like
but
sports?
it wasn't about sports. It probably cost my mom and dad about $10 at Kiddings, which you don't even know where
Kiddings.
that was. You remember Kiddings?
Yeah, yeah.
It was Kiddings on Market Street. And when I got that basketball, I thought, oh my God, I got my own basketball. And ran down to the court. I took a shovel and I shoveled the court off just enough to dribble and shoot. And I thought, this is heaven. I had my own basketball on, and I was dribbling. It was wet and it was snowy, but I thought, this is incredible.
well, you make me sound like I'm not appreciative of a basketball.
Simplicity.
No.
I remember one of my better gifts you got, Jarrett and I, when we were
Wait, you mean
young.
Santa Claus?
Yes.
Santa Claus.
For
I
any of
didn't-
our young listeners, Santa Claus bought Jared and I hatchets, like
Hatchets?
Yeah, but
camping
I-
hatchets. And I remember we got those hatchets, and we went down to the woods.
I
that-
kept my eyes open at night there. By the way.
Izzy Borden?
for the next couple of weeks, we would just go down to the woods and just cut trees down and build forts, and that was one of my favorite gifts that I ever got.
Speaking of which, while we're on this situation,
Go ahead.
yeah, Axhole. You guys been there?
Huh.
Right around
Oh,
the corner here.
Axe throwing place?
Axe throwing place?
Axe throwing.
When we're done here, let's go throw a couple hatchets.
Okay.
Can I?
I think they're axes.
Get ripped
Axle. It's not the
yeah.
hatchet hole.
I've not done that yet, but I heard it's fun. Have you done it?
Oh yeah, our Christmas party's there every year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Travis is a good friend of mine, so we can walk over there and just throw a couple. He won't charge us anything.
Who's
And
Travis?
he owns the Axle.
Okay.
All right.
And if you ever notice, if you come in the summer, we have a big, his logo and his like a billboard right on our side of our to help promote him.
I think I've seen that. It might be, and I could be wrong on this. On your website, you guys have pictures of the outside when it's popping, when it's popping.
Yeah.
I think I saw that sign on in those pictures. Could be wrong on that. But
No, you did.
only time I went axe throwing, which I still can't believe that they got away with doing this. And I think I brought up on the show, Matt, and these guys disagree with me. The only time I ever been axe throwing was at West Liberty's homecoming. And granted, at West Liberty's homecoming, everybody was just annihilated, like hammered. And they brought axe throwing
Send that down
to
to
this
your
to
dad.
this
Thank you,
event.
Jeffrey.
And I remember thinking, and I had some in me. And I remember thinking, there's at least 400 like college kids that are running around drunk, and people were throwing
Firing
axes
axes. I
into
remember
this
you
thing.
said
I was
that.
like, it's the most incredible thing ever. But you go over there quite a bit.
I was there yesterday.
Are you good?
Here's the thing. It's like throwing darts. I'm decent at throwing darts,
Okay.
but when you go, you just have to find how far back you want. You know, I mean, you have to find your space.
Okay.
And if you just do muscle memory, you can hit.
Gotta be
I
your
wouldn't say
spot.
you'd hit the bullseye every time, but you can make that
Yeah.
hatchet stick.
Right.
It's an axe. You can't be saying hatchets. And I'm gonna go over there and try. It's like I gotta change my name to the hatchet hole. But once you find it, I mean, you can literally like darts. I mean, it's just muscle memory and.
Gotta find your groove.
So tell a little bit about your buddies. What's it called? What's the name?
Axle.
Axe. AX hole.
AXE.
AXE hole.
You were
Get
a
it?
coach, not a teacher,
Axle.
right?
Yeah, I'm a special ed teacher, so you've got to help me through this.
AXE.
Get it?
Hole. Axe hole.
You're an axe.
Yeah, I get it. You want to,
It's better than a hatchet hole.
what do you think? I don't know.
That's what Jeb wants to
Okay,
change.
so
You need to change it to hatchet
tell
hole.
me
though.
if I wanted to take a group of people, what do they do? Do you have a special like?
Oh, it's a blast.
But what I'm saying is, you have a special. You pay a certain price and you drink and you throw.
Well, you bring
axes
your
for
own
like
beer
an hour
there.
or something. Oh, you bring your own beer.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, really?
You sure do. You can bring coolers in there. There's no food, but you could like when we have our Christmas party there, we bring coolers.
Oh, really?
And then we have it catered.
Oh,
And
wow.
all it is a couple pool tables and then like 5 hatchet throwing thing. It looks like kind of like a
Bowling alley?
baseball.
Like a-
throwing,
like
a cage.
Yeah. Okay.
And when you go, I mean, you wouldn't think it would get old, but it never gets old because once you get the hatchets down, he brings out these shovels,
Oh.
like these shovels like that are this big, that are like pointy and.
And what do you do with those?
Throw them right into the
Oh, you
wood.
throw a shovel?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit's right.
What?
So we're
Job,
gonna
you'd
call it
probably
a
like throw a
spade
shovel.
hole now.
That'd be fun.
Shovel.
Yeah.
Can you lay in a shovel?
It's a lot harder than an axe, but Justin's really good at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's just like I said, it's muscle memory. Once you do it, it's just like
Does he have tournaments or anything like that?
no, but he did win Entertainment of the Year on whatever paper was sponsoring that. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Hey,
a
that might
blast.
that might be one of our next ventures is to
think
go
It's
to
a
axe
it's a
hole.
blast.
Axe hole throwing.
No,
Axe-
I mean, like I said, it's
I don't
like,
think it's axe hole throwing.
Like
No, I
it's-
don't know. Axe hole.
like we have the whole place because he's closed on Sundays.
Yeah.
Right.
So he opens it for us. So you just throw, and then you go and have a couple beers, and then you get up and throw again, and it's
Oh, wow.
freaking. You know what?
I like
stress relieving. It's like shooting a gun.
I like.
And I bet when you stick one right in that middle, you like,
Well, he's got a little hole, like it's a regular bullseye kind of thing. He's
guys
got
put
little
up
black
anybody's
holes
face on
up
there?
here. Oh yeah. I just picture it myself. I just mentally. And if you hit these 2 black holes on your first throw, you get a T-shirt.
oh, really?
Yeah.
On your first throw.
On your first throw, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really
Yeah.
good stuff. That's
And-
good. Job, you'd like to do axe hole throwing.
Oh, I'd love that. It's a bit of a. I mean, it's like a. It gets sound bad, but it's like a violent. It's like a. You think about it. Now, if anybody ever comes in here and you just happen to have an axe laying around.
Well, I carry guns.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not.
Or
Well,
what?
okay,
I carry
right.
guns.
If you run out of ammo.
He's
run out
got
of
2
ammo.
on each.
Yeah.
He's strapped right now. He's strapped right.
Time
here
you
at
get
the
one
table.
and like stand still.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right, so I want to ask you about obviously Brewers when in Christmas time. Do you find that business ramps up during the Christmas time?
You know, it depends. So we do have like some private parties coming in, which helps. But I mean, people aren't spending more money right now. The weather changes drastically. It gets dark. So Saturday night we are busy as anything. At 7:30 we are dead.
Really?
I mean, like we had 2 tables in here at 7:30, but we were packed from 5:30 to 7:30.
Wow.
So I don't know if it's the darkness or people just getting used to it,
Yeah.
or I don't know if it's the economy. I mean, it's a whole bunch of things, but you know, you prepare for that. You know,
Yes.
it's like you're busy in the summer, you just prepare for the winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you need to do in just about every business.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely. Let's and I want to throw it, and then we'll wrap it up. I want to talk about this wrestling. Did you guys talk about that with?
No.
No.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about this wrestling at the Nailers game.
Freaking
Thanksgiving Eve.
awesome.
Listen, yeah, I've honestly I've done a lot of things in my life. I mean, seen fun things, crazy things, exciting things. that was literally, and Joe keeps saying, how could Hussein kept saying, he said that was one of the most, that literally was one of the most enjoyable things that I've seen in a long time. And I don't know why, just probably because I used to go to WWE up at Pittsburgh. I used to get into that shit.
When it was
Sergeant
WWF.
Slaughter.
WWF.
Yeah.
No, Hulk Hogan. When it was real wrestling.
When Frankie and you went to get booze.
It was
That was
unbelievable.
one of our legendary
We could tell stories about
You're
that.
my age. You should talk about like Bob Backlund and Jake the Snake. And,
Roddy Piper.
I mean, those are like.
the
Remember on Saturday
legendary-
mornings it just had the black,
wrestling.
thing in back,
Absolutely.
and then 2 sets of stands on
Georgie
the side.
Animal Steel, and we used to go to Pittsburgh and watch that, and it was freaking incredible. So I want to talk about that when we went to the Nailers. I thought that was one of the most entertaining things. And now, was it fake? Absolutely. Was it like was the villain not really? Absolutely. But did they act it out to perfection? I thought it was. I left there and I told these guys. I said that's well, he didn't go. Job didn't go.
I didn't get to go.
And I thought it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, just because I don't know why. The villain was great. He made it. Anthony made it great. The people were into it, and I got into it because I was drinking some beer and having a ball.
So
And the listeners are stunned to hear that.
And these guys
Definitely stunned to hear that.
what's
That
drinking
couldn't
a
be
lot of
right.
beer.
I don't
A
think
lot
you
of
got the
beer.
right guy.
So tell me your connection with the what is it? International Wrestling Cartel.
Cartel, yeah.
Cartel. I love that name, Cartel.
I didn't have
WC.
anything to do with that at all. But I'm with you. We know it's not real. But man, how
Absolutely not real.
But I mean, they still go out there and bust their back ends. They still get thrown through tables. I don't care. That still has to hurt.
Yeah.
Jub's gonna throw me through a table tonight, by
Yeah,
the
that's
way.
our next.
As long as he pays for it, because but what you said, it was entertaining.
Entertaining.
And there was at least, and I could be far off, there had to be at least 250 people
Absolutely.
around
100%.
around this ring
Yes.
watching these people, and all the adults know it's entertainment. The kids were loving it, and the villain, back to Anthony,
I thought
God
he
bless
was
his heart, because I get to hang out with him in the back and wear the belt and everything, and he is such a huge Pittsburgh guy, and he had to badmouth the Nailers. We haven't won a championship in 30 years. And he's like, why do you live in this?
Wannabes.
Yeah, and he's like, how do you live in Wheeling? This, I don't know exactly, but what to
dumb.
say is like this dumbass, dirt,
Good question.
nowhere town.
It was great.
And then I get him in the back, and he's just like, oh my God, I love this town. You guys are all so friendly. And he's like, I love the Penguins so much. And he's like, he's like, I said, I get it, dude. I said,
Yes.
I get it. You're playing the villain, and you did a great job. You had to throw the owner, Jason, through a table at
And
the
listen,
end of the match.
He threw him through the table. He
threw him through a
broke an
table.
8-foot table and flipped him over onto the table, and then Jason played it perfect. He acted like he was pretty.
Oh yeah,
much
he was like,
dead.
I was
Like,
supposed to
he-
meet him
he-
afterwards,
oh,
and I never got
absolutely.
to meet him.
What was the villain's name?
Anthony.
Do you think, later that night, say he would have went out to, River City with all
Well,
of
he
us.
ended up in. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But do you think that he would have, do you think he would have played it up?
No
or do you
way.
think-
Oh no
way.
No,
I was in the back room with all of them.
No.
And do you think that people would have had fun with him, or is he still the villain to everybody else?
I wish he would remain the villain.
I think the
I wish
kids,
he would remain the
the
villain.
kids would have thought he was a villain.
Yes,
But,
yeah,
I mean,
kids
he
would.
came up right away. He came up to me. He's like, I badmouthed your town. I love this place. So I'm trying to sponsor them the next time they come back. I'm going to feed them and everything else. But he's like, I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
and throwing the guy that pays your paycheck through a table.
But that was.
It's got to be fun.
still has to hurt a little bit.
That was, and you can't have, and Matt will attest to this. You can't have that kind of event without a bad guy. You
No,
have to have
no,
a bad
the
guy.
bad guy makes it. The
A
bad guy makes it.
The worse the bad guy is, the better it is.
Usually the bad guy and the manager would make
The bad
everything.
guy and the bad manager
Yes.
are what
They make
it.
everything.
It's not the good guy.
No.
Because people just
It's easy to root for the good guy.
Yeah, but if there were two good guys wrestling, there'd be nothing to root for.
And you would think the guy with the bone, you know, and the grass skirt and stuff could have been the bad guy. No, but it was Anthony. And he does a great job, but in the back it's night and day.
Yeah,
I mean, he just wants
absolutely.
to have fun and talk and do everything and just, you know, kind of hang out and be himself. And you guys know John Parrish, right?
Yeah,
Pretty big guy.
Oh, great guy.
And then EJ, the guy that you met with me in the green shirt. I mean, he's a big dude. We were all getting our pictures taken with him. He's like, God damn, you make me look small.
That's like, I mean, you look at interviews with like The Undertaker, with Kane in the WWE. You look at interviews back in the day with guys like
Well, Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik, Macho Man.
yeah, like when they break character, they're some of the nicest guys.
Oh,
They're like
geez,
The Undertaker is one of the nicest guys, but he's one of the most beloved villains of all time. And I think that there's
Well,
something to be
Undertaker
said.
was interesting because at one point he was a villain, but at another point he was a good guy.
He's like an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And you
And Hulk
literally,
Hogan then turned bad
And
later.
you-
in
Oh
wrestling,
yeah, I
too.
was just gonna bring
Yeah,
that up.
right.
That is the most from being a superhero to a bad guy.
that's what's even
NWO.
better.
when they came out with what was that World
Yeah, NWO.
NWO
New World Order.
New
yeah.
World Order. When
And
he came
turned
out with
bad,
that,
I mean that
Jesus.
just crushed kids.
that
like,
I
Oh,
mean,
jeez,
he
yeah.
the
went
little
from-
kids who were now
Right,
teenagers,
right,
they
couldn't
were
sleep.
their hearts were ripped out.
Right,
Like,
ripped out. But that's what That's why Vince McMahon's a billionaire.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had it figured out
Nothing
before
better.
all of us.
And was he the original, like,
100%.
his
like,
dad
but like,
was the original.
Who?
Vince McMahon's dad owned the WWE.
Oh yeah, Vince McMahon's dad.
The
Yeah.
McMahon
But-
family was the ones that
They-
made wrestling what it is.
but because like
Absolutely.
before the McMahons, was there anything like the WWE?
It was called the WWE. We can get up on Saturday mornings, and literally, like there was a ring, right? And in the background was a black backdrop, and then there was two sets of
Like
bleachers on each side. There couldn't have been more than 100 people there. And we'd get up, and there was like the Indians, remember them?
Oh, yeah.
Chief Jay Strongbow.
Absolutely.
And,
Oh, my
and all
goodness.
the Bob Backlund, and Bob Backlund was like he could do like a zillion push-ups.
Oh yeah,
you know,
he was a stud.
and there was probably 100 people there, and they took it to the next level.
And they kept thinking about how could we make this better. So then they brought on bad managers. That escalated the thing. Then obviously the bad guys. Then they just kept it going from
yeah.
there and just kept.
Changing
Vince
things.
McMahon was a genius.
Oh, yeah.
And then he did offshoots like the wedding
Yeah.
reception,
Yeah.
and then
Butcher Vachon's
and
wedding.
like
And they brought women into it too.
and they brought women and
like good-looking women.
Yeah, but I can't watch that.
well, yeah, right.
I want to see the men, but it's so dramatized now that I can't even.
It's
I can't.
terrible now.
I'd hate to be
The
caught
high-end
watching
wrestling
that now.
it's.
But
I kind of want to try to watch it, and I want to
It's
try to like
so
it.
bad.
But the guys are not very good at their
So
role
bad.
playing the way
No.
they were, and they don't have the guys to lead them along like the commentators and then Gene Okerlund and all those guys.
Oh
that would
yeah, they were
interview.
great.
And there's not like if you even if you didn't watch WWF or WWE, you knew who Hulk Hogan was. You knew who Randy Savage was. You knew who
Roddy
the big-
Waterpiper.
Yeah, Roddy
You
Waterpiper,
knew who
Ric
those
Flair.
guys were. But if you look at WWE now,
I
I don't
would
know
never know
anybody.
any of
It's hard to know any of them.
I
none of
think
them.
the
I know
last
a
big
couple.
leaders.
I know more women than
before
men.
it went down was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right.
I mean
Which
that
is
guy.
That was the
incredible.
end of it. That was the
And
end of
Austin
it.
And The Rock.
kind of took them to the last, and then
And
the
The
Rock.
Rock.
They were kind
That
of
was
the same
the end
time.
of it.
They-
And that was the
that was the
last.
end.
the
Those were
heights
the
that
last
they were
two
at.
guys that took
Yes,
him to the
yes,
to
they
the
were.
to the.
And now,
to
now
the
you got the girl wrestlers are more prominent than the men.
yeah.
They should
Like
do
Becky
it in
Lynch,
the Raw.
like the
Oh,
man.
am I allowed to
like,
say that?
she's
The what?
Badass.
The women.
Oh, geez, yeah. Yeah.
But I mean,
But-
after Stone Cold Steve Austin, I mean, I really don't know anything about it too much now. But I mean, that guy could tear an audience up and
was
psych them
incredible.
up like you
Heard
wouldn't
that
even
glass
believe.
Listen.
shatter?
And he didn't
There
give a
was
shit
nobody.
about nothing.
Incredible.
Well, there was nobody like Hulk Hogan. There
Nobody.
was
No, Hulk
But
was
Hulk
the number
Hogan
one.
needed a villain. And the Iron Sheik was an unbelievable
And a little bit
villain
to
to him.
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant villain. The villain made Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan wouldn't have been able without the guys
He's a real American.
the bad guys that made him.
Especially
so
when they
good.
weren't from the United States.
And,
That was
and
a
they,
big
they
part of
probably
it.
went in the locker room after they were done and shook hands, said, "Oh my God, we probably just put $2 million in our pockets each."
And you think
But
back,
they were so good.
they would pit
fun.
nations.
Oh.
You'd pit nations against each other.
Oh, that was the thing.
The Cold War, you had obviously the Soviet Union and Iran.
Wait, who was
Nikolai Volkov.
Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah.
And he would want to sing the.
He would say,
Waving the
Howard
flag.
Finkel would come on that microphone and say, "Mr. Volkov would like you to please stand and listen to the Russian national
And that
anthem."
was perfect. It was incredible.
And then everybody would get mad.
And everybody would get mad. Just do the right thing. Boo.
So you had Iran and the Soviet Union there with their hands over their hearts. Everybody's booing in the crowd.
They're fighting each other in wars at the
then
time.
Hogan
Russia's
comes
fighting
in,
Iran, but they're like,
Mr. USA. That was
just.
yeah, it was perfect.
Vince
And like
McMahon is a genius.
genius, and
Genius.
And I think the old managers, Lou Albano.
oh
my God.
You know,
Oh,
what a big
Freddie-
fat slob.
Classy Freddie
Oh
Blassie.
yeah,
Blassie
Okay,
and
yeah.
Mr. Fuji.
Jim Cornette.
Jim
Jim
Cornette.
you know,
Cornette.
I mean,
and,
those
Jimmy
guys-
Hart.
I mean,
Bobby
those
the Brain
guys.
Heenan.
They were the best.
They
They were incredible.
they were now a manager. I don't know what do they
no,
do.
you
I
don't
mean,
even
know
know
one
any
manager?
managers.
No.
There's the one guy still left. Paul
Paul
Heyman's
Heyman.
good. He's the
Paul-
only guy.
Paul who?
The left
Paul
hand.
Hanning. He was the Undertaker's.
Yes, he's
Oh,
a
yeah,
leftover.
yeah.
But he's good. He's really good.
Paul Bear.
Paul
Yeah.
Bear.
Paul
But here's the
Bear.
thing.
You're
And then
starting to
when-
scare me now, Jub.
Here's what I have to say, and then we'll end this. When I watched that at West Banco, it brought back a lot of really fond memories for me to watch that, and it was so fake, but it was fake, but it was real to me. It was like I'm
that's
living,
the allure of wrestling.
I'm living like back in the day when I was watching Hulk and Andre and those guys here in Wheeling, and the fans were going nuts, and I was
Oh, yeah,
I was
kids
acting like
booing.
a goddamn
Well,
idiot.
because I think you become, even if it's fake and you know it's fake, you become part of the act.
Right, and I wanted him to react to me when I was calling him a fraud and a loser and a boo, and I wanted him to look at me and say, yeah, well, just whatever. I just thought it was just so captivating to me. I thought it was incredible. And I tell you right now, if it comes back,
Oh, it's
sign
coming
me
back.
up.
Oh, it'll be back.
Because
And I got
you
showed
oughta
you that
be a
email
manager.
from John Parrish today that
What's that, Matt?
You ought to be a manager.
Oh, I'd love to be. I could love
Hey,
to be a manager. I just
throw him through the table tonight.
Oh,
Not
Jesus.
me.
You go through a table, you
definitely-
wouldn't be able to
I definitely
recover.
wouldn't be able to get
Well,
up.
what, if you threw me through, what am I gonna do?
No, you're going to be in trouble
Oh,
like
yeah.
me. But
I don't even know where my spleen is, but you'd probably break my spleen.
But it was great. I enjoyed it.
Hey, get him to tell the story about when you guys were at the Civic Arena for wrestling. Like all you guys, Chris and Joe. And
Well,
all-
I was there a couple times.
right,
but,
but then when you went with that guy to get booze, Frankie,
well, that was not a good situation. I probably
you
shouldn't have
had
done
like $500 worth of
because
cash in
I
your
went down to
hands.
get liquor I just jumped in a car with some
Some
random
stranger.
guy that could have robbed me of. No, I had more than
killed you.
$500. Because everybody's paid me for the tickets.
Chris said he
gave
thought
me-
you were never coming
Gave me
back.
money for booze, and we went downtown Pittsburgh to get liquor because we were going to sneak
bring it
flask
into the-
flask into the game,
that-
into
Into
the
the
wrestling
match.
match, and I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably wasn't one of my better moves.
Chris said that
I think it's
everybody
great.
was cheering in the parking
Well,
lot
and then
when
I
you
came back
up.
with like 3/5 of McMaster's.
Ew.
Yeah, right.
Really
Ooh is
high-end
right.
booze.
Ooh is right. That's all we ever drank.
So you had
back in the day.
$500 of money in your pocket. You came back with McMaster's. You should have been thrown through.
No,
it.
that's it. That's all
You're
we used
right,
to.
Rick.
That's all
Or
we
you-
used to
you-
drink. Big Masters.
Your story could have been better. Like after the guy that drove me robbed me, all I had was enough money for 3 bottles of McMaster's. I'll make your story better.
And in Masters was probably like $15 a bottle.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
unbelievable.
God, probably
Back
still
then,
is.
right?
I literally cannot sniff McMasters now. We drank
Why
so
would
much of
you?
it back in the day.
Oh, my God.
Well, it was horrible. That's not your top shelf whiskey here at Belmont Brewworks.
That's
is
when
it?
you
Oh,
get
yeah.
you can get a hey, you can get a flight of McMasters
Yeah,
here.
you can.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us here for episode 87
Unbelievable.
of the Pioneer Podcast. Thank you to Rick.
Merry
Oh, my
Christmas!
God.
Thanks, Rick.
Merry Christmas.
I love these guys, by the way.
Thank
Merry
you
Christmas.
to
Oh,
Heather
yes,
did
sir.
a fantastic job here.
Matt, Merry
Cheers,
Christmas.
brother.
With decorations. The place is great. If you haven't been to Belmont Brewworks, you're listening
Get
to
your
this,
ass
Get here.
over here now.
Get here.
great food, great atmosphere, great people. And until next time, we'll see you here in the Pioneer.